We were live. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. I thought we were live. We weren't live. So, as we begin, I want to thank everybody for coming on the show. I want to thank everybody for showing up. It is such an honor to have you guys here. And I want to thank my co host, who will be on in a couple of minutes after I read her bio. And we're going to start with her bio and then we will bring her on. Her bio reads as the following. Minister Carol West Shannon is a wife, a mother, a grandmother, and a godmother. She is a graduate of, and I may say this wrong, I hope not, because I looked it up, Heyman University with a bachelor's of science in mental health. So we already know that she's a woman of God that has a formal education. She is a member of the Shiloh Baptist Church in Wilmington, Delaware. She serves as an associate minister. Her ministries over the years have included the social media and communications ministry, women's ministry leadership team, director of the youth in the Kingdom Ministry, Kingdom Made, Mime and Dramatic Expression, Christian Education, Lee's Gospel Chorus, Praise and Worship Ministry, and the Outreach Ministry. In the past, she has served on the Philadelphia Baptist Association Christian Education and Leadership Development Committees, as well as the Youth and Young Adults Task Force. Minister Shannon has served on the Multicultural Initiative, Living Out Your Cultural Reality into God's Intentional Desire for the American Baptist Women's Ministry. She has served on the executive committee of the American Baptist Women's Ministry of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania and Delaware. She served as the coordinator of conference. She served on the American Baptist Women's Ministry National Executive Committee from 2007 to 10. She served as the national coordinator of church and the community ministry. As a part of her ministry with the American Baptist Women, she led a monthly Staying Connected national conference called Ministry for Women in Leadership. In addition, she served on the World Relief Committee, Board of National Ministries, General Board, and still serves on the National Evangelism team. All are a part of the American Baptist Church, USA. She is affiliated with the Women in Power Ministry, as well as other notable ministries and councils. In June 2010, she served as pastor in residence for the American Baptist Women of Pennsylvania and Delaware Conference held in Bucknell University. In July 2010, she was featured as a cover story in the Divine Inspiration magazine. Now living the reset version of life after battling with rheumatoid arthritis for a number of years and now living with some of the residue effects, she birthed a business called the CWS Design LLC. The CWS Design creates graphics, stationery, t-shirts, mugs, and other unique things that embrace and promote our culture. We create both digital and physical products. We seek to be purposeful, empowering, encouraging, raising awareness, as call for us to live boldly, love ourselves and one another, as well as living our own truth. Our vision, where ministry and theology connect with creativity and purpose, where ministry and theology connects with ministry to the marketplace, where ministry and theology connects to design, to share with those who are interested in creating passive income, yourself, ministry, and your business and or business. using their creative desires, skills, and talents to discover some of the benefits of tapping into your creativity. Art for well-being. This is accomplished through fellowship, prayer, classes, group sessions, and tutorials. Minister Shannon is a disabled small business owner, Black woman, and a preacher. This is a unique collaboration. This journey has been interesting. Minister Shannon is a sought after preacher, teacher, and facilitator. She shares the word of God in various schools, various churches, revivals, conferences, seminars, workshops, and fellowships. Lastly, Minister Shannon is the founder of the Women of Excellence with Purpose Ministry, WEWP. It is a ministry of exhortation for women to utilize their gifts to build and edify the kingdom of God. WEWP have a special interest on those women called or serving in the gospel ministry. We long to provide a supportive, mentoring environment. And now to bring on our co-host for this evening, please help me to welcome Carol West Shannon. God bless.
Yes, yes, I am glad to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I'm sorry. I just read off a whole bunch of ministries that you are involved in. So let's start there because we know you in ministry. We ain't even gotta worry about that. We know you in ministry. But please tell me, how did you get started in ministry?
Um, well, with the gospel ministry, that was a unique set of circumstance because I was in a place where there had never been a woman preacher. So then I get this call and I'm like, God, have you really lost your mind? Because do you know where I am? And his response to me through prayer, but do you know who I am? So there I go. So I went and I that was some waters I had to navigate, but God was really with me. And I did become the first licensed preacher at that particular church. So that was what, like 16, 17 years ago, like, I guess, yeah, in 2004. Yeah. So that was like the beginning. And then from there, I went to an American Baptist Women's Conference by myself. In between that time, I was visually impaired. So I had a corneal transplant. So, and actually, I had my corneal transplant before I preached my initial sermon. And so when I preached my initial sermon, the people were looking at me because they knew I couldn't see. So they knew, like, can she see? And I could just read their faces. Like, so I just picked up a Bible and just started reading something, out of the blue. And from there, I went to an American Baptist Women's Ministry Conference using my new eyes. So I no longer had to ask people to read stuff for me. So, and I went and I did a week and I came back and like a couple of months later, I got a letter with an application that said somebody had recommended me. And so I went to my then pastor, and I asked him, I said, did you recommend me for this? And he was like, no. Well, did you sign anything when you were there? And I was like, no. So I called the office and made sure there wasn't a hoax but it was real. And the woman who answered the phone told me, well, why don't you pray about it, see if it's for you, and fill it out. And I did, and that was the beginning. And from there, because of that position, that allowed me to sit on all of those other boards at the same time. So yeah, that was the beginning. Yeah. Yeah,
That
so
is
it was a national
wonderful.
position. I traveled around the country, so that was, really cool. Yeah.
That's good. That's fun. And that should speak to a lot of us who feel like we put our elements, our sicknesses, our disabilities, we put it to the side and say, I can't do ministry the way somebody else does ministry because I have this physical ailment, and that cannot be an excuse, because purpose must be birthed. We
Exactly.
have to birth purpose. And so we have to do the will of God. And it may not be the way you want to do it. And it may not be even in the season you want to do it. But when God says you're going to do it, you're going to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Because there were times that, I felt like, God, I can't do this because, at that one point I was visually impaired. And then when I got rheumatoid arthritis, it was like there were times when people had called me to go to minister, and I would be like flat out on my back in bed in pain and all of that. And he would tell me to say yes. And I'd be like, yeah, like, and I can't even walk. So, and I had to go because the mandate doesn't go anywhere because you have an illness. He might change the way you do it, but it's still there. If he calls you to be a voice piece for him, you're gonna be that voice piece. So
Amen. Amen. And we all have something to say. Everybody has a story. I tell people all the time, we are walking epistles.
yeah,
And so, as walking epistles, we all have a story. We all have something that God has placed in us to say that nobody else can say it.
true.
You need to say it. And whether your story is told to one person or is told to a million people, the story still needs to be told.
That is so
I think we get caught up in ministry, especially in ministry. We get caught up with, oh, I'm not as big as this person. I don't speak as loud as this person. Nobody really pays me any attention or what have you. And not realizing that the word that you have is going to reach the people it's supposed to reach.
exactly.
It's going to reach that brother or that sister that their word was sent out to reach.
Exactly.
Because our purpose is not just for us, it's actually for other people. So when we don't do our purpose, we're actually stopping someone else's growth. We are stopping somebody else from being what God has called them to be, because we may have the message that will set them on fire, that will make them go, you know what, I got to start doing this right now. I got to get on top of my job. If she could do this or he could do that, I know I can do it. And so it is such a blessing to be a part of ministry. But also, you're not just a part of ministry, you're also in the marketplace.
Yeah.
So being that you have, I want to say, been in both, which one would you say is easier per se? Is it easier to work in ministry, or is it easier to work in the marketplace?
They both come with their own unique set of circumstances. There are times when I'm in the marketplace that I wish I was like in the four walls of the church. And then there are times when I'm in the four walls, it's like, "Ooh, let me out of here," So it depends on, what's actually going on. But I do enjoy both, and at this point I love to um, fuse the two together, because a lot of times, there are people that are like in churches that they're just sitting on the pulpit, just like sitting there, like sitting there. So, and I know God did not just call us to just sit there because there's only one pastor's seat. So, so it's like, but I'm sure that there's other things that God has called us to. So I think my job is to help develop that something else, or help pull out that something else, or
Yes.
you know what I mean? And one way to do that is to tap into your creative flow. Not necessarily that you're going to do it for business, but it could just be for self-care practices too. You know what I mean? So there's a lot to just being a creative being, and when I say creative, I mean, it doesn't mean we singing, and it doesn't necessarily mean we all drawing either. So, but everybody has uniquely gifted us to do something, creatively, so that's one of my jobs.
And so I want to ask you another question while we're talking about church. Have you always been in the church, or did you come to the church on your own?
I was always in church.
Mm-hmm.
As a child, all my friends got baptized early on in life. I did. My grandmother always instilled in me that, don't play with God, come to him when when you're like kind of serious, And so I think a lot of them got baptized because they wanted to sing on a choir, or, because I never got baptized. So I was a late bloomer. So I
Mm.
got baptized like what at 30, somewhere,
Wow.
and yeah, I got baptized at 30. As a matter of fact, the church that I got licensed in, that pastor baptized me.
Mm.
So and so yeah, I'm a late bloomer, but I knew the word. I came up in a Christian household. So I was always studying the word and all of that, but I just never made that walk that out.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, I can honestly say I said this. I got baptized 3 times.
Okay.
And I say I done got baptized in everybody's name. I'm not getting baptized
I
again.
know that's right.
I'm done. I'm good. I'm good. I done hit the water 3 times. I'm pretty good. I'm exactly where I need to be right now in all their names,
I know that's right.
So we're going to take a short intermission and we'll be right back. And then we will talk about where I got that wonderful title that some people seem to like so much, which was Illness to Purpose. So we'll be right back after this short little intermission.
Hey there! Did you know that Cynthia Robinson wears many hats? Not only is she the host of the Crazy Within talk show, she is a best-selling author of 6 books under her cap. She is a certified life coach that helps encourage, enlighten, and inspire women to love themselves for who they are until they get to where they want to be. And last but not least, she is a pastor that preaches the gospel of Jesus Christ. If you'd like to know more about her, you can go to her website, www.cynthiarobinson.me, and see all that she has to offer. I can guarantee you won't be disappointed.
And we are back. We're now going to step into a more serious topic. We're going to be talking about what our minister went through in order for her to birth her purpose. She dealt with an illness that I did not know could do what it did to you. I did not know that. And so I want you to talk about this seriously because I think that this is a topic that I don't think we discuss in the church a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
You may know somebody who has it and it may not be as debilitating as yours was,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's a topic that we need to be mindful of.
Right.
And we're talking about, and I want to hope I'm saying it right, rheumatoid arthritis.
Rheumatoid arthritis.
I'm getting there. And so I would love for you to talk about this because it is such it was, I can honestly say, I thought, because you guys have to realize I've known minister for many, many years. I want to say maybe 10 plus years, maybe,
Yeah.
and just off Facebook. We knew
Right.
each other off Facebook. And I kept saying, I'm going to come to her conference. I'm going to come to her conference. I'm going to come to her conference. And I think it was the last year that I said I was going to come to her conference when it was in, I believe it was in Baltimore or Maryland. It was in Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see you for a while. And then I saw you and I thought you had a heart attack. That's
Right.
what I thought.
Okay.
And then when I saw you talking, I was like, oh my gosh, she's recovering and everything. And then I said, and then when you said what it was, I was like, oh, I didn't know that can happen with that.
Yeah.
So could you let everybody know about this because it's news to me?
Okay. I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis in 2007. I did have an earlier diagnosis, but it kind of went in remission. I got medication and it went in remission. But when it came back in 2007, it came back with a vengeance.
Wow.
And rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune disease. So what it does, your body attacks itself. So I have an overactive immune system that attacks itself. So there's a war going on inside of me all the time. They're fighting. So, and what it does is it attacks your joints. It can attack your organs. It can attack your skin, your eyesight, your heart. All your organs, your skin. So it can affect every area of your life. Some names they'll call it RA, which is rheumatoid arthritis, and some people are calling it rheumatoid disease because they're trying to call it rheumatoid disease now because the arthritis, people tend to think it's like, oh, you take a Tylenol and you kind of, be on your
Mm,
way. But this is not your grandmother's arthritis. No, this is not that kind of arthritis. And so for me, it started with like just a pain in my ankle. Usually it starts pretty much in your ankle, in your feet, or it could start in your hands. And you might see a slight change in it, like a bending or a curving to it. And then you may not have any pain at all. You might just have that bending and the curving, and
mm,
you might see your mobility changing. And sometimes it's hard to detect, and then sometimes the doctors don't really do what they should do to move it
mhm,
along. So and it's always good to have a doctor that kind of believes that you're credible in what you're saying. So but yeah, it's for me, it affected my hands. My hands are like deformed. And then it probably affected my heart because the inflammation level in my body had got out of control, and it affected my heart to the point where I developed pericarditis, which was fluid around the heart. I had to
mm.
have my heart tapped because they had to get rid of the fluid. And
Wow.
while they were doing it, after they finished, the doctor said, "Let me go get a heart because I need to show you where the fluid was and how much we got and why you should be dead because because there's no way that you should be alive." So
Oh, wow.
yeah, and so with that, I'm on like um, I went through like a railroad or like a roller coaster ride of trying to find the right medication to keep it because I
Mm,
said it was like I said, it was aggressive. So the doctor had to be aggressive in their approach. So maybe with some people, they might take one medicine. I might have to take three or four. And then I had to stop because I would break out and go through all the stuff like that. But yeah, it messes with every area of your life. But I think more importantly, in addition to messing with your body, it messes with your self esteem. You
mm,
battle with like um, depression, self isolation. Because I spent 3 years totally immobile.
mm.
I lived in my recliner
Wow.
because I couldn't sleep in a bed. I couldn't lay flat.
My
So
goodness.
I had to sleep in like one of those chairlift chairs or lift chairs because I couldn't lay flat. And that was for 3 years.
Whoa.
Tremendous pain, the whole nine. But nobody, it was so bad that the doctors had told me I had to call the police and fire department and let them know where I would be in my house if the house caught on fire.
Wow.
So they can get me out. Yeah, that's how bad it was.
My goodness.
Yeah,
My goodness. And that's why I said this is so important because I think that a lot of people, and like I said, I assumed it myself. Like we don't know, so we just assume. And you've seen people who've had heart attacks, and like I said, that's what I thought. I hadn't seen you in a while, and then when I saw you, I think the first picture I saw of you was you in a wheelchair. So
right,
I just assumed
right.
that you had a heart attack. I did not realize that arthritis could do this to you so badly that it could cripple you to the point
Yeah.
that you can't even come on now. Some of y'all, this is a testimony
Yeah.
that you could not move for
Nope.
3 years.
3 years.
That and to see you now,
Yeah.
I don't want to jump ahead of myself, but to see you now, you know what I'm saying? You are truly a living miracle.
Amen.
Um, from all that you went through. And I know we're going to see a story on this, and I know I'm going to get a book, and I know you're going to come on my show. Let me just put that all on out there. But I am amazed because I would have never. I've heard of people say that and I think a lot of us do think about it that way, like our grandmother's arthritis, where you
Right.
get arthritis in your hand and
Right.
stuff like that. But I would have never known that it could affect your whole body, your
The
whole
whole body.
system
Your whole
um,
system.
that way. So, can you tell us what were some of the steps that you took in order to be able to be where you are now?
Um, Pretty much. My faith in God. Like I kept hearing Him say, you're going to be okay. And although I didn't always believe him, but my faith, a tremendous team of doctors that worked in tandem with one another. They, like, a lot of times you have a doctor over here doing this and he or she doing their own thing, and another one doing their own thing. But no, they worked in tandem together on my diagnosis. I'm always like clear about what's going on with me. And I had doctors that believed I was credible. So, I didn't have to like advocate over and over again. I'm telling you the truth. And plus they can see the deformity and the things that were going on. And even when the test wouldn't prove it, but you can see the physical changes in my body. I know when I first went to one doctor to do a intake, the doctor, he was an older doctor. So I was walking to the thing and he said, oh yeah. So I said, I think I got a, he said, yeah, I can tell by your gait. Right. So he was like, he said, I can tell, like, he said, like, he didn't need a test to tell him. Right. Like, but it's just like my faith, my doctors, just and making sure that I had what I needed. Not only did I have to advocate, for some things, but they advocated too for things that most people didn't have. And I remember I had this one aide when she came and I was like, oh, because I really needed help. I was really needed help. And she said, you know what? I said, I'm so sorry. I need this. She said, no, you need to be grateful that you're able to get the help. Not so much that you're sorry that you need it. Grateful that you can get the help, And so with that kind of changed my, demeanor, my disposition, to be in a place where, I had the insurance. My husband, oh my God, my husband, like, he put a whole new spin on, in sickness and in health, because he had to take care of me for like when I think when we stand before God, when we get married, and you say, sickness and in health, you might think like the flu, maybe a chicken pox or something like that, but never nothing like that changes your whole, your whole life. Like, you can't even go out. Like, he had to make sure I was good before he went to a men's fellowship, or maybe he didn't go because I may not be able to, maneuver while he's gone. And, just to go to work was like, he had to be mindful, like, where stuff was so I can get it. So yeah, it's major. Yeah, it's major. Yeah.
And I think that in our day and age, please don't mind me because I'm typing. That in this day and age where people don't take marriage seriously, right. We do the vows and we say the words, but right. we really don't mean it. Because soon as a good illness comes around, we're gone. As soon as the money don't flow the way it used to flow, exactly. we're gone. So exactly. for your husband to stand by you like that and be there and support you the way that a marriage is supposed to be. Yeah. Yeah. Me getting sick should make you run. Me getting exactly. sick should make you stay. Right. And so that is such a wonderful testament to your husband as well as your marriage. Now, the one thing you talked about, and I want to go back to that, was you talked about advocacy during your sickness. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I know that for a lot of people, especially for certain diseases, like everybody will advocate for breast cancer, but there are other forms of cancer that don't get that type of advocacy.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Well, the one thing was that I studied right along with my doctors. So like they tell me I had, whatever, and I think I like one of the things I was like, I think I was a science major in college before I switched my major, and so when they tell me certain things like, I'm going to put you on this medicine because it's going to stop this, and so I would study right along with them and ask the questions, even when things. I was like, okay, I'm not a doctor, but that doesn't sound right. So can we do something different? Or like if a medicine has some serious side effects, I make sure I have that in the forefront of my mind. So when I talk to them, like I remember this one medicine, it made my eyes very, I feel like I was drinking. I was like, oh no, we can't do this. I'm sorry. We cannot do this, right? But I just like, I don't care when it's supposed to stop, but this ain't it, right? So, and I went to him and I said, why I can't do it? Because I don't like the feeling. I feel like I was drunk, like
Mm.
high, so, so you just have to advocate for what is for you, and how things make you feel. Like sometimes, you have to take medicine sometime that, maybe, is the outcome outweighs what you feel, but you definitely always have to advocate on what, the things that you need. Like I knew I needed a scooter. Like, and I was like, I need a scooter because I just, I can't, I just can't walk, right?
Yeah.
And it's like it's really becoming more difficult for me to walk. And my doctor, he said, okay, we're gonna work on that. And he did. You know, um, I mean, everything that I needed, even when I even spent 3 months, 3 or 4 months in a nursing home. And when I came out, they had a bed in my house, an actual hospital bed in my house.
Mm.
So it was like the things that I needed, God through my doctors provided, so, but you have to kind of know and kind of ask for what you think you need, so.
Yeah. Because I think that for a lot of people, when they get sick, and especially if you don't have the support of friends and family on your
Mhm.
side, it makes it hard for
Mhm.
you, especially if you can't advocate for yourself
Exactly.
sometimes,
Exactly.
and when you don't know how to advocate for yourself.
Exactly.
Um, Even with filling out the paperwork,
Exactly.
when you don't know how to do it and you don't have the support to do it, it can make you become depressed
Exactly.
because you're trying to fight for your life. I don't have time to fill out this paperwork. I don't have, I don't have time to figure that out. And having somebody there to help you, having the doctors to support you, having
Mhm.
the nurses to support you, having your husband to support you, and probably even your church family
Yeah.
supporting you,
Yeah.
is a wonderful thing. When I think about when I was going through with my son and how having the doctors there advocating for me. I was 19 years old. I didn't know,
Right.
but having the doctors to say, you guys leave her alone. She's going through a lot right now. We're gonna let you know everything and all that other stuff. We need to make sure that when our friends and families are going through, that we are there, making sure that they are being supported because a lot of us don't realize how depressing it can be when you're just looking for a little something and you can't get it. And it's
Exactly.
not because you don't want it. It's not because you don't feel like you don't deserve it. It's because there aren't enough people there to support you and push and advocate for you at a
Exactly.
time where maybe you can't advocate for yourself.
Exactly. 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 Exactly.
And so, what would be some of the? Now, I know you talked about it a little bit, but could you get into it just a little bit more for those of you who are coming on? Thank you, Bruni. I see you, Pastor Shannon, Doctor. Hey, Cheryl. To my coach, Dr. Harper. I got her doctorate. Thank you all guys for coming on to the show. Thank you for showing your support. But could you just go back because I really want to stay in the illness right now.
Mhm.
We'll get into the other part, but I want to stay in the illness right now. Can you tell us a little bit more of some of the symptoms? Because a lot of times the symptoms show up
Right.
long before, and I mean those inner symptoms. I'm talking
Mhm.
about maybe it was something you felt inside and you think it was one thing, but it was something else.
No, my foot, the one thing that comes to my mind was my feet were hurting.
Oh, okay.
And I remember my girlfriend, her name was Sharon. She would always say, "Girl, what is wrong with your feet? You always hopping around like." And it was like that. My feet was just like always hurting me, whatever, And I remember the one doctor that I had earlier on. He was like, "Oh, well, it's probably because I was wearing skippers, skippers." He said, "Oh, it's probably because you're wearing skippers." But no, that was not it. If he would have checked
Wow.
me then, you know, that was like one of the major warning signs. That was a major warning sign about my
Wow.
foot, the bones in my feet, and then my hands. My hands started to hurt, and I started having but everybody is different. But for me, I started becoming iron deficient. But that can happen with a lot of other things too.
Mhm.
But my iron level just couldn't get it together. We couldn't get that iron thing together. So between that and my feet and my hands, those were like the telltale. And then my after a point, then my gait started with my, I was walking like Herman the Monster walk, that Herman,
Wow.
that walking like that, So, and I think those are my telltale signs that because it comes on everybody differently. Like some people, it might be there because the word rheumatoid, the first part, rheuma means to move. So for me, it might be in my feet, but today it might be in my knee and it might be in my shoulder, but so it's like you never know what you're going to get. So that's like I'm always good. Like, something changes. I got practice because I never know where my pain gonna be. So I could just like flow with it, So,
Okay.
so it's like, but for me, my primary thing was in my knee and my ankles and my hands.
Mm.
Now sometimes it might get my elbow, but it may not stay there. But those primary points, and then at one point, when my RA was out of control, it got in my eye. When I went to the eye doctor, my doctor noticed, and he like stopped doing the exam and went right to the computer and text my rheumatologist and said, "You need to up her medicine because I'm seeing it in her eye." Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So
Wow.
yeah, so that's kind of, and then sometimes it can make your hair fall out. It messes with your skin. Some people have skin problems, and you might think it's acne, but it could be because of your autoimmune messing with you. So yeah, it really depends on the person. But for me, those are the telltale signs. And then like sometimes like in the summer, like most people, I'll like sometimes I'll break out without any warning. But that's because the autoimmune is acting crazy, So, but yeah. Yeah, so I
Wow.
have a dermatologist, I have a podiatrist, I have a cardiologist, I have I have the rheumatologist, I have my eye doctor. So, but the chief doctor in all of that is the rheumatologist. So, they'll all report back to her because a lot of things that happens because of the RA. But right now, my RA is under control. Thank the Lord. It has been under
Thank
control
the Lord. Thank the
um,
Lord.
for the last, I guess, like 5 years or so, 4 years. It's been under control because I'm on a different medication. And then I think God's healing did some stuff too. Because my doctors all say I'm a miracle. So
Mm.
so yeah.
Amen. Amen. I got to clap on that one. Yes. And I don't know about nobody else because, like I said, I've known her for 10 plus years. I'm telling you, when I saw you in that wheelchair, I was like, oh my gosh, what
Yeah.
happened? And
Yeah.
I think now I look at you, and we're going to go right into purpose on this one. I look at you now, and look what God birthed in you. Now this is the thing that got me. When you told me about it, I started thinking about it like, hold up. You talking about creating.
Mhm.
You're talking about designing things
Yep. Yep.
with RA. Come
Yep.
on now.
Exactly. It all started it started in the recliner. I at that point when I was so like I was done. I was just like so depressed. And I prayed and at that point I needed help with everything. Brushing my teeth. I mean everything, right? And so I prayed to God and I asked him, I said, well, God, is there something that I can do that requires like minimal help? Like, cause I just, just like, boy, you just feel helpless, like hopeless. Like, so he told me to, when I woke up, he said, look for this app on my iPad. I'm like, app. So okay, I looked for the app. I mean, but he didn't tell me what app. So it was like I felt like I was Abraham. Be like, go and I'll let you know when you get there. So I was scrolling through, and then he said, okay, go pick that. And it was a painting app. And I'm thinking like, my hands hurt. Hello, right? I'm thinking like, did you miss the memo? Right. So and what he allowed me to do was start painting with cotton balls. I would rub cotton balls across my iPad and just
Mm.
do digital art, just plain digital art. Like I mean, no rhyme or reason. And what that did was allow me to express like how I was feeling. Because at that time, those pictures were like dark and tight and ugly, and the lines was all like tight together, looked like it's all mangled up. So that's how I was feeling, you know. And then as I, grew and gotten, better and have got a better disposition, not that my RA changed, but my mindset changed. So, and even I was still in the recliner, still in pain, but then I started to change the colors. The colors started to change, and my drawings began to look a little bit more fluid. I still couldn't hold a pen because at that time my husband had to do all my signing for me because I couldn't hold a pen because it was hurting. So I just used the cotton balls or my fingertips and just move it across the screen. And the rest is like, then I went to a conference, still really couldn't walk. And I think it was during the time when I was the conference chair. And I was in my scooter. I did everything on my scooter. I taught classes on my scooter, everything, right? Wow. So, and I met this woman, and she said, "Well, you can get a monopod." I had never heard of a monopod in my life for my camera. And so she said, "Well, try to get one with the pad on it so you can hold it and won't hurt your hand." I said, "Okay." I found the monopod, and she said, "Well, you can put it on your scooter, get the gadget and put it on your side. I would attach my camera to my scooter or use my monopod because I couldn't hold my camera in my hand." And I started taking pictures. And I had taken pictures as a teenager. My mom had given me photography lessons. So I was just tapping back into that. And I would just ride around on my scooter, taking pictures. And then somebody sent me a thing about an exhibit. And we had went to Arizona I went to a women's conference, American Baptist Women's Ministry Conference. They called me and asked me would I teach a class in Arizona. I went, me and my scooter. Well, I didn't take my scooter. I rented it when I got there. And I taught a class sitting on my scooter. And I went to the top of the mountain. We drove to the top of South Mountain. I took a picture and I entered that picture into an exhibit, and it was chosen.
Oh, wow. Look at God.
You couldn't walk. Like I could not walk or anything. And it was just like it was chosen. And then from there, that started my art journey with photography / digital painting, stuff like that. And so now I'm able to pick up a pencil. So I do draw now a little bit, but not a lot. But I still do the digital art photography. Yeah. Yep.
Look at God. And I said it earlier and I'll say it again. There is no excuse for any of us not to live out our purpose because it's given to us to do. It's our responsibility. Exactly. And no matter what our ailments may be, we still are required to do it. And I think about a 90-year-old lady who got her degree at 90. Yeah. And it was because she was that was what was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And even though she went through a lot of hardships, she went through a lot of pain. At 90, this woman got her degree. And so there's no excuse for us not to fulfill our purpose, whatever that purpose may be.
Exactly.
And like I said, your purpose may not be for you to be speaking in front of 1 million people. Exactly. It may be for you to talk to that one person that's going to hear what you have to say. And it is so important for them to hear it because you're going to inspire them to move on to the next plane in their life. So your purpose was to help them with their purpose. Because that's literally what we're all here for, is to help one another with our purpose, to inspire, to enlighten and encourage. And that is what her ministry is about. Her ministry is about that in the designs that she makes, in the mugs that you can purchase from her. And I want you all to realize how important it is for you looking at her. You are seeing a woman of God that has worked through a lot of pain and sorrow and come up on the other side with her purpose.
Yeah.
And to do the will of God. Now think about this. I want y'all all to think about this because when she said this, it blew my mind. Some of us won't even leave our houses. We have cars. We got cars. We have the activity of our limbs. We have no problems. We won't go and do a speak or go talk to anybody. and we're perfectly healthy. She went to Arizona.
Yep.
Not being able to function completely. She went to Arizona, spoke, and God blessed her for her obedience by having her picture to be chosen. So there are things that you get when you're obedient to the will of God, when you don't succumb to your situation, but you walk in the purpose of your situation, illness and all. I just wanted to stress that to everybody because I want to talk about her new project that's coming up. And this is how I found out about her again, that she was out there still doing her thing. And her new project is the Advent Journey. And I want you to tell everybody about your new project and when it's going to start. Well, be out for everybody.
Okay. The book is we're in the proofing stage right now, so I think it's going to be loaded this weekend. But we do have a link that if anyone is interested, they can sign up for an email list, and everybody will be notified. We are planning on having what the project is about. It's a Advent journal for the Advent season, and I have 6 African American photographers, myself included, and it's a journal that will have Advent scriptures and pictures, daily Advent pictures and scriptures, and then it's a line thing that you can meditate and pray over and pray and look at and ask God to speak to you in those moments and record your reflections. And when the Advent season start, which is the Sunday after following Thanksgiving, we're going to have a weekly chat with the Black women photographers. We're all going to be on the phone, and we're going to share like some of our thoughts and our feelings about the picture and or the scriptures. And then we're going to do a book launch, like a book party, so you can hear the backstories. What I believe this project did was change the narrative about how women can get along, because none of these women knew like I knew them, but they didn't know each other. Some of them did, but most of them did not. So, and how women can get along, how women can come together and uplift and have fun. And so there's a lot of like backstories. Because I remember one night, we 3 of us were up and we got on Facebook, and we were like chatting, and we got online, and everybody had their hat, their scarves on, and we were just talking, and it was just like an amazing conversation. The 3 that I'm talking about, they were business owners, so we were talking about, one of them was trying to get her website together. We were talking about color, things that probably would not have happened had it not been for the Advent project, So we do have a Facebook group, and it's called the Advent Journey. You can look up the Facebook group, and I could put the link in the chat for the email list, so you can be notified for whatever is coming up. So yeah, but it's coming out probably within the next 2 weeks. It should be or probably before that, actually, but definitely coming forward. It's coming out.
Okay. Okay. So like she said, it should be coming up soon. So I hope you guys will join in. I am going to put up her information. This is all her information, her Facebook, and it does connect you to CWS Designs, which is on her Facebook page. She also has her TikTok. She also has Instagram. And I want you guys to connect, because this woman of God is really doing it. And I truly appreciate it. I know I'm going to get myself my book, and I plan on being on there and hearing the stories, because as somebody who's always looking for somebody to come on her show, I am more than happy to have the whole crew come on the show and talk about this after they have their book launch. To talk about how important it is, because for a lot of us, ministry starts with us. It is something that starts with us, and whatever God has aligned you with, whether that is to be a photographer, whether that is for me to talk, whether that is to be a person that designs, whether you are a person that is a person who can sing. We all have certain talents, and it is always wonderful when we can come together and bring those talents to life with one another. We don't have to do it alone. A lot of times we're taught we have to do it alone, but we don't have to do it alone. We can do this all together. We can support one another as a family, as we're going through and making our way through this journey that we're all having. If you have any questions, you can type them in the chat. I can see everybody's questions. If you have anything, once again, I want to thank everybody that's online that is watching, and I want to thank those who will see this in the replay. I do have her information up. This is Minister Carol Shannon. She is on here, and she is telling us about her illness to purpose. And as we begin to wrap up, we're in the last 10 minutes. I want to give you an opportunity to extend to everyone where they can find you. We did just talk about your new adventure, but to give some more information about yourself and honestly where they can find you. And because we all know she does ministry and she does it well. So maybe you want her to come speak to your people. We know she'll go. We know she'll go. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. You can let everybody know where they can find you and be a support to you in your ministry.
Sure. You can, first off, you can connect with me on my Facebook, on my personal Facebook page, Carol Shannon. And also, I do have a website, cwsdesign.com. Design is spelled DEZIGN.com. And also, you can connect with me at my email, info@cwsdesign with the ZIGN.com. You can connect with me through that means, or any of my social media posts. I do answer questions, provided that the Spirit says answer the question. So, but you can connect with me. But definitely, we have some awesome products on our website now, and we're also dropping some new products. We sell hoodies, we have sweatshirts, we have mugs, we have journals, planners, all kinds of things like that. We are a lifestyle brand, so we also just dropped some travel bags and sneakers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, some travel bags and sneakers. So,
come
on shopping, y'all.
I also want to, because I know it's in your bio. Are you doing classes right now? Are you doing sessions?
I will be doing a class on a Canva basics class coming up. My schedule to because what I want to do is, and I'm also going to launch my coaching, creative coaching, to work with people one-on-one or in a small group, to work them through, like whether it's Canva or getting into self-publishing or learning to use art as a self-care practice, or using art as to start a business like digital paper, or I just did a digital paper class a couple of weeks ago. I did a calendar class of how to create your own calendar, wall calendar, which is great for businesses and churches and families, But classes, that's how you'll find out about the classes. You get on the email list, visit the website often, or connect with me on my personal page. Yeah.
All right, y'all. So we can go to class and we can learn how to do Canva, and we can start I will tell y'all this, as somebody who's new to Canva, there is so much you can do on Canva that you don't have to pay somebody else to do for you. You can do it for yourself. It's free. Or I got the pro because I really want to get into it, but it's amazing what you can do on Canva that I was paying people to do, that now I'm like, I don't need to pay nobody to do this. I can do this myself. I can do this myself. So I think that's a wonderful class, and especially Canva basics, because I learned from trial and error. And then sometimes I would get frustrated because it wasn't working out the way I thought it was supposed to work out, and it didn't come out right. But that class, I will honestly say, I would definitely take that class, because even though I know a little bit more, I still need to learn even more in Canva. But I will say honestly, it's a wonderful outlet. For those of us who are in the creative form and you're making maybe flyers, maybe you're making booklets, maybe you're making ebooks, maybe you're doing courses. Canva has all that stuff. And for me, I do TikToks. I do, y'all know, y'all see the posters all over the place.
Right.
So y'all know I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, I'm everywhere. But it took me a while to get to the point to be able to do a lot of that stuff simply because I didn't know how to do it. And I was paying somebody else to do it. And now I'm happy that I don't have to pay somebody else to do a lot of the little stuff. I won't say the big, like I still don't do my own flyer. I thank God for the guy who does my flyer. I just send him the pictures and he gets it back to me real quick. And I thank God for having people that can help you. And I thank him for being a part of my village. But at the same time, there are certain things that I don't need to pay anybody for. So I'm grateful for that. And I can't wait. Trust me. Send me the link. I'm ready. I want to go to class. I want to go to class. So I want to thank everybody who came out. If you have any questions, please post them up. If you don't have any questions, we're going to go ahead and move on. Oh, did you put the link in the comments?
No,
I know I got some of them, but I know I have some of your information. But if you could just post up your, especially your website, because if that's the main contact, your website.
Yeah, my website. Here's the thing. I don't know where to put the comment in because there's no place to write my hold on, let me see if I can find the hold on. There's no place to write my comment. There's no place to write.
Is it CW Designs LLC?
Hold on. I'll put it in the private thing and then you can put it up there.
Oh, okay. I will do that. Yes, I will. And just so that everybody knows, I know we're about to wrap up. We only got a couple of more minutes, but I want to thank Minister for coming on and being a part of our show on this evening. It was a treat and a delight. I must say, I'm getting ready right now to post her website. So, and please patronize. We get ready to come up on the holidays, you know, and this would be a good time to maybe get a gift for your friends and family. And you can support a sister who came out on the other side. That it could have been for some people a death sentence. It was not for her. It was her purpose. Her purpose came out of that thing, from having RA and sitting there and allowing God to work with her. And for some people, sitting for 3 years would have been a death sentence, but for her, it became purpose, it became vision, it became a ministry, it became a calling, it became her chosen, it became everything. And I am so grateful to now be able to say to my sister, I am so grateful for you. I am grateful that you fought the good fight of faith and that you did not let go, but you kept holding on, and God came and just blessed you in a mighty way. So I am so grateful for you. And tell your husband thank you. Tell him Cynthia said thank you for being a good man of God and being an honorable man and standing by his wife and supporting her during one of her toughest times. Because I know if the shoes had been reversed, you would have been right there for him as well. And so we need those type of inspirational stories where, you know, we don't give up. We keep up the fight, that we stay there and we hunkle down and we help each other as we're going through. So I thank you so very much. And I can't wait until the book comes out, because then, like I said, I'm going to bring all of y'all on my show. Bring everybody on the show, and everybody can talk about their part. I'm so excited. I'm already scheduling y'all, so just let me know. But thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you for being on my show. I appreciate you so much, sis. And I pray that God continues to bless you in everything that you do, in the ministry that you have. Stay success. Stay
Amen.
success. God's
Amen.
got you in stage success. You will succeed at everything you put your hand to. There is nothing that's going to fail. It is already a success. So I am so grateful and so honored. So thank you so much for coming on the show. I look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you. Thank
Soon,
you.
hopefully.
Yeah. Okay. We will definitely let you know.
Yes. And I want to say to everybody as we're wrapping, like I keep saying that, I sound just like a pastor. It take us 3 times to go. But thank you guys for coming to the show today. I do appreciate everybody's support. Please check out Minister Carol Shannon. She does have a wonderful ministry, and I know you guys will be blessed if you go on her website. And I did put it in the comments. Please go on her website. Her testimony, if yes it is, Pastor Shannon, her testimony is phenomenal. She has a powerful testimony, and I know there's a book coming on that too. I tell everybody, if your come on now, she got a test and a money. All right, she ain't just got tested, she got a test and a money. And so we're going to believe God for that testimony in the book form. Amen. So God bless everybody. You guys have a great rest of your week, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. God bless you guys.